Yo, what's going on everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about Boruto Episode 4, titled A Ninjutsu Battle of the Sexes. And now everybody was expecting us to get a sweet Boruto versus Sarada fight in this episode, and that's not what happened at all. Like, not even close. Now, last week I pretty much did the entire review in the form of a plot summary with commentary, and I don't think I'm going to do that here because the plot wasn't very interesting or complicated at all. It started off with a scene of everybody learning about the summoning jutsu, and then just kind of evolved into an argument between the girls in Boruto's class and the boys in Boruto's class, which eventually culminated into this all-out battle between both genders to steal a flag from the top of the academy roof, and the whole thing was organized by Shino, and it only ended up coming to that because Boruto and Sarada had that fight that we saw in the preview at the end of episode 3, where Sarada gets a sandwich that Boruto wants, and Sarada's like, well, you know, if you were a real man, you'd let a lady have it, and Boruto's like, yeah, but you're not really that much of a lady, and Sarada gets triggered, and then they both get ready to fight. But then in the episode, Shino shows up and he's like, don't fight here. Normally, fighting between academy students is prohibited, but here, I'll make an exception this one time, and I'll let you guys duke it out. I'll set up a battle arena for you guys and everything will be fine. And so I thought that what was about to happen was Boruto and Sarada were about to have a really cool battle, but instead what happened was, so Shino set up this thing, right, where, like I said, you have a team of the boys and a team of the girls in the class, and they're both competing to get a flag from the top of the roof of the academy, and whichever team wins gets to order the other team around or something. It's not really clarified. It's just said that the loser has to listen to whatever the winner has to say. So yeah, I mean, like, it's whatever. Pretty cool incentive to win. We get to see everybody show off their ninjutsu and their various abilities. It's pretty cool. Like, Awabe uses an earth-style jutsu, which Chocho counters by using the expansion jutsu. We get to see more of Inojin using the super beast scroll, Shikadai using his shadow jutsu, stuff like that. I mean, it's not really a complicated episode. It's just a whole bunch of, it's like the girls and the guys going at it in the class doing the, well, you guys have cooties, no, you guys have cuties nonsense from elementary school, and then kind of fighting with one another to see who's better, I guess. Pretty simple. Not much to summarize. The only real noteworthy event in this episode is Boruto attempts to summon, like, use the summoning jutsu at the end of the episode because he finds an empty scroll in one of the storage rooms and decides to, you know, make a contract with a summoning animal or whatever, and instead of summoning, like, a frog or something, he ends up summoning this giant snake due to the influence of the same guy that we saw at the beginning of last week's episode, the guy that's been placing people under his control, like, Denki and Metal Lee. Apparently, he ends up causing Boruto to summon this gigantic, super powerful snake that nearly kills, like, everybody on top of the roof before Konohamaru comes in and dunks on it with a Rasengan. But other than that, not really anything of note happens in this episode. It's just a cool little self-contained story that's quite a bit of fun to watch, but doesn't really contribute anything to the series in terms of plot or development or whatever. The animation was a little bit stiff and weak at times, like it was last week and the week before that, but I mean, it wasn't too terrible. Like, it was still passable. It was fine. It's nothing that I'm going to complain about. The writing was on point as always. It was just really silly to listen to a whole bunch of kids fighting about boys being better than girls and vice versa. I mean, like, I didn't think that would find its way into this anime, but I guess whatever. I don't know what I expected because I'm dealing with a whole bunch of kids here. I mean, there's really not a whole bunch to say about this episode, so I think I'm gonna keep this review short and just say it was pretty good. It was nice to see a little bit more of Sarada and Chocho because we've really only gotten to spend time with the male characters in the series so far, with the exception of, like, the one girl who reminds me of Hinata. But I mean, you know, aside from that, we haven't gotten to see any of the main female cast. And speaking of, there were actually a lot of clearly, like, side background characters on the female team in this episode, like unnamed characters that are probably not going to have any major role in the series whatsoever, just to fill in the female team. And it brought my attention to how few female characters there actually are in this series so far, and I hope that that issue gets fixed because we've only got like 3 or 4 named females, and it'd be cool if that problem got solved soon. But I mean, whatever. I'll leave that to future episodes. I'm not gonna talk too much about how I feel like episodes after this are going to go. So I'm rambling now. Fucking whatever. I'd give this episode like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. It wasn't as good as last week's episode, but it was still pretty fun. It's a decent watch. I wouldn't recommend you skip it. I'd say sit through it, you know, give it a shot. And again, if you still haven't watched Boruto, I'd highly recommend it. It's a pretty solid series so far, and I hope it stays that way. But yeah, sorry for the short video. I just thought that, you know, there's not much to talk about here, so I'm just gonna leave things quick. So yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching the video all the way to the end. If you have any questions about my thoughts about the episode, leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer as many questions as possible. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more weekly Boruto reviews and other Naruto content on Fridays and Sundays. But above all else, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. Till my next video, talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.